pounds at 8. And Screws tries to do a little work here.
Thank all day, baby. Thank all day. Easy work. Easy work. My money goes away.
Calvin Ford isn't interested in debating or hearing about underdog stories. He's not concerned with the what-if scenarios. To him, Lamont Roach is just another fighter who's about to get a tough lesson in the ring. This fight is nothing more than business as usual for Tank Davis.
My whole family is from DC. My whole family, like my entire family.
Don't bring them. Don't bring them.
For what?
Don't bring them. I'm telling you,
they gonna celebrate with me. Yeah,
don't bring them.
It's gonna be a.
Ford has been around the boxing world long enough to know who truly belongs at the top and who is just passing through. In his view, Lamont Roach is just another name on the fight schedule. He's seen fighters like Roach before, tough, confident, and eager to prove themselves. But toughness alone doesn't win against a puncher like Tank Davis. Confidence starts to fade once that first punch lands, and any game plan they worked on goes out the window as soon as reality hits. Roach's camp has tried to hype him up as a real threat, but Ford isn't falling for it. He's seen too many opponents come in with big plans, only to fall apart when they feel Tank's power. They try to adjust just to survive, but by then, it's already too late. That's when the panic sets in. Their legs start to slow down. Their punches become desperate. And before they know it, they're knocked out.
The body while he's tied up with Davis, but then you see some of the thunder.
I say 9th round.
What?
I say 9th round.
You said 9?
Yeah.
What's your response to that, Lamont?
Look, he got scared. Look. He looked at night.
I'm telling you, you saying you going down in a night?
Ford isn't worried about this fight because he sees no reason to be. There's no real threat here, no surprise. He's not talking about Lamont Roach as a challenge. He sees him more as a stepping stone, just another name to add to the record. That's where the difference lies between their camps. Roach's team is hoping for a big moment, but Ford already knows exactly what's coming. There's some history between Tank Davis and Roach. Sure, they crossed paths in the amateurs, but that was then. The Davis of today is a completely different fighter. He's sharper, more dangerous, and much more experienced in the kind of fights Roach has never been in. Ford knows Roach can fight, but that's not enough. Plenty of fighters can fight, but only a few can survive against Tank. Even fewer can actually win.
You said what?
I beat you in the tournament twice. I beat him in the state, and then they did something
beat me
like...
in the regionals. They cheated in Baltimore, took a point from me, fool. Come on. We sent the video to USA Boxing. They said I should have won. They sent me to the Nationals. That was the only reason why I went.
And then I fought you again, beat you there,
and then
right?
you beat me.
There again.
Then you beat me.
Roach is about to step into something he's never experienced before. He's never faced someone who can end the fight with a single punch. He's never felt the kind of pressure that Tank Davis brings. There's a big difference between being confident and being truly prepared. And Ford doesn't believe Roach is prepared. He's seen it all before, the hype, the strategies, and the belief that someone has figured out how to beat Tank. But the reality is simple. There's no secret to beating Tank. There's no safe place in that ring. Fighters try to box, move around, or get rough with Tank, but none of it works for long. Once Tank finds his opening, the fight is over.
Let's go early on.
Why was it so easy when he fought Frank Martin?
Frank Martin was inexperienced and nervous. You know, it is what it is. It's going to be a different fight when I'm in there. He's going to be a different fight.
Ford doesn't need to say much. He's seen this story play out too many times before. The other side convinces themselves they have the advantage. But once that bell rings, everything changes. The energy shifts, the weight of the moment hits, and when Tank starts landing his punches, all the plans go out the window. There's tension between the two camps, but it's not the same. Roach's team is looking for respect, trying to prove they belong. Ford doesn't need to prove anything. He's been here before and knows exactly what happens next.
I think he actually took this fight for the naysayers and all this and all the people talking shit about the fight. I think he actually took the fight because he know that I'm a dog, and he want to prove his skills against a dog. So I'm gonna show y'all what happens when two dogs get in the ring together, and I'm gonna be the one. Obviously, I'm gonna be the one coming out.
While Calvin Ford is making it clear that Lamont Roach is just another name on Tank Davis' list, Davis himself is staying fully focused. The press conferences and outside noise don't bother him. He's in the gym, perfecting every part of his game, and getting ready to send another challenger home empty-handed. Tank is known for always staying in shape, but his current training camp feels different. There's a new sharpness to his work, an intensity that shows he's not just preparing, he's refining his skills. Roach might not be the biggest name Davis has faced, but that doesn't mean he's taking him lightly. Every fight is a chance for Tank to make a statement, and when the punches start flying, Tank makes sure that statement is heard loud and clear.
And the crafty cruise looks like
wrestling fight, you know what I'm saying? Because Roach he come to fight. And I think it's a great fight. Everybody talking all that stuff about, oh, why Roach? Because he signed and took the fight, you know what I'm saying? And
recently, Tank Davis gave fans a glimpse of what's coming with a viral training video that left viewers impressed. The 13-second clip showed him working on pads with his coach, Patrice Harris. In the video, Davis' incredible hand speed, rapid-fire combinations, and smooth movement were all on full display. The reactions came in fast. One fan commented, "Now he's looking sharp," while another wrote, "Fastest hands at lightweight."
Tank all day, man. Tank all day. He's working. He's working.
Tank Davis has been in this position before, headlining big fights under the bright lights with the weight of expectations on his shoulders. He thrives in these moments. The Barclays Center will be packed on fight night, buzzing with excitement, but Tank won't be rattled. He's been through this too many times to feel any pressure. He's built for it. Lamont Roach, however, is stepping into unfamiliar territory. He's had his share of success in the super featherweight division, including winning the WBA title from Hector Luis Garcia and defending it against Johnny Gonzalez. But this is different. This is lightweight. This is Tank Davis. The punches will come faster, the power will hit harder, and the fight will demand more than anything Roach has faced before.
going to be able to get out of the first round.
Time.
The fact that Lamont Roach and Tank Davis have history from their amateur days makes for an interesting storyline, but it doesn't hold much weight today. Tank has evolved. He's not the same fighter Roach once faced. Davis has become one of boxing's most dangerous finishers, a fighter who ends the fight as soon as he senses weakness. He's knocked out bigger, stronger, and more experienced fighters than Roach, and if his training is any indication, he's ready to do it again. But while Tank is the star of the night, the entire card is packed with talent. The co-main event features Jose Valenzuela defending his WBA super lightweight title against Gary Antoine Russell. Russell is looking to bounce back after a tough loss to Alberto Puello, while Valenzuela is determined to prove his title win was no fluke. Further down the card, Jermell P. Charlo will put his WBC super lightweight title on the line against Sandor Martin. Charlo remains undefeated, but Martin is a tough opponent. He's best known for retiring Mikey Garcia and giving Teofimo Lopez a serious challenge. Martin is still chasing his dream of becoming a world champion, and this might be his best opportunity. While Davis stays focused, sharpening his skills for Roach, the outside world doesn't give him a break. Whether he's training or not, his name is constantly being talked about. The spotlight is always on him, and with it comes a never-ending cycle of both praise and criticism.
You waiting too long, Tank. You touching fast.
Talking and then somebody else talk like his crew. That's what get me up. Like that's what make me like. I always want to prove to somebody that I'm like they not who they are.
You told when they try to talk about that money, that 100 band.
No, not money per like when they.
This isn't new for Tank Davis. He's been living in the spotlight since he first started knocking out opponents under Floyd Mayweather's guidance. Fans will cheer his name after a knockout and call him the best in the world. But the moment he takes a break or isn't constantly in the public eye, the narrative shifts. Suddenly, he's accused of avoiding fights, and people start doubting his greatness. It's the same story, just a different day. Davis has been watching it all unfold, and now he's speaking out. He recently took to Instagram to show how quickly people change. He shared a screenshot of a fan who went from being a loyal supporter to a disrespectful critic overnight. One day, the fan was in his DMs, praising Davis and saying he admired his skills and wanted to train like him. The next, he was calling Davis out, claiming he could beat him in a fight.
Would you consider you and Gervonta friends?
Friends, probably.
Is it going to be hard to go in the ring and fight your friend?
Not at all.
Are you all going to be friends after?
Yeah, why not?
Either way it goes.
Both making money.
But you guys are making each other bleed.
Hopefully I just make him bleed.
This isn't just one fan acting out. It's a pattern that happens over and over again. Fans love to support a winner, but they often love tearing one down even more. The same people who hype up a fighter will be the first to call him a fraud if he isn't constantly knocking people out or headlining big fights. It's part of the nature of the sport, but that doesn't make it any less frustrating for those living through it. Davis isn't the type to get caught up in outside noise, but he also doesn't let things slide. His response wasn't just about one fan. It was about the bigger picture. It was about how unpredictable and critical boxing fans can be and how, no matter how much you accomplish, some people will always find a way to downplay your success.
Just overall being something that he's not been in the ring with. I'm the total package, and honestly, sometimes I think he doubts himself. But I'm a competitor, and I feel like I'm the best. So I'm a show up.
When he talks about you not bringing your family, what goes through your mind when you hear him say that?
Tank Davis's career has been under constant scrutiny for years. He's heard all the criticism, that he doesn't fight the best, that he's wasting his prime, and that he's just a puncher. None of it is new to him. But every time he steps into the ring and does what he does best, the tune changes. When he knocked out Ryan Garcia with a body shot, the doubters went quiet. When he took out Leo Santa Cruz, the critics had nothing to say. But give it a few months, and they're back at it, questioning him all over again. That's what Davis is addressing. The inconsistency of fans who latch on to negativity instead of giving credit where it's due. He's seen this happen to other greats, Floyd Mayweather and Canelo Alvarez, for example. Win a fight, and you're the greatest. Take time off, and suddenly, you're overrated. It's an endless cycle. But Davis isn't here to please everyone. He doesn't need validation from fans who flip sides at the first sign of inactivity. He knows his worth, and he knows where he stands in the sport. March 1st is just another chance to remind the world of that. While some fans sit behind screens questioning his legacy, Tank is in the gym, putting in the work to add another name to his record. The critics will always be there, waiting for a slip-up, eager to say, "I told you so." But Davis has seen it all before. He doesn't argue or entertain the nonsense. He lets his fists do the talking. When fight night comes, the same people who criticized him will be cheering his name. As Davis sets the record straight about the fickle nature of fans, debates about his toughest opponent continue. But if you ask him, there's nothing to discuss. None of these fighters have ever been a real challenge. One name that often comes up is Isaac Cruz. The 26-year-old Mexican brawler has earned a reputation as one of the hardest hitters in the lightweight division. His aggressive style, relentless pressure, and ability to take punishment have made him a fan favorite. But Davis isn't impressed. To him, Cruz is just another name on the record, a fighter who couldn't get the job done. Davis made it clear on social media that he doesn't buy into the idea that Cruz gave him any real trouble.
I can't even see who it is. Hey, who is the dude? Who is the dude?
And that right there is why Gervonta Davis fights don't go the distance.
Tank Davis and Isaac Cruz faced off in December 2021. And while Cruz managed to go the full 12 rounds, something few of Davis's opponents have done, he still lost by unanimous decision. The scorecards showed a competitive fight, but there was nothing controversial about the result. Fans like to act as if Cruz gave Davis his toughest test, but Davis isn't buying into that narrative. The truth is, Cruz wasn't originally supposed to fight Tank. He stepped in on short notice to replace Rolando "Rolly" Romero, who had been pulled from the bout due to legal issues. Cruz seized the opportunity and fought with his usual aggressive style. But he never truly had Davis in any real trouble. Even though Tank fought most of the later rounds with a hurt left hand, he still did enough to win the fight clearly. Now, years later, Cruz is calling for a rematch, and some fans believe he deserves another shot. But Davis isn't worried. "I'll fight him again. I will stop him next time," he posted. This isn't just confidence, it's a warning. Tank believes that not only can he beat Cruz again, but he can do it even more convincingly, possibly even with a knockout this time. And if history has shown anything, it's that Tank doesn't just talk. He delivers when it comes to finishing fights. The bigger issue here is how fans often shake these stories. If a fighter goes the distance with Davis, they act like it's some kind of moral victory. If Tank doesn't knock someone out, it's seen as a sign he struggled. But winning a fight is winning the fight, whether it's by knockout or decision. Davis did what he had to do, and he made it clear he's not concerned with the way fans twist the narrative.
I agree.
When they start talking, when the people who I fight, when they start talking, that's when y'all get dumb. I'ma beat his ass.
He can't
y'all
do
talking.
shit with.
For
I don't
real.
give a fuck.
So y'all better be quiet.
I don't give a fuck if y'all was quiet, if y'all was loud.
He got the whole hood over there.
Like twisted up. I don't give a fuck
Y'all
about none of
can
that.
do whatever
I don't
y'all
care about
want.
none of
My
that.
mother, he
I don't
can't
care
stop
about no
nothing
hood,
over
no
here.
none of that.
Not at all.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna fuck him up.
Not at all.
The same thing happened with Ryan Garcia. Many people thought Garcia would be Tank's toughest challenge. He had the speed, the power, and the reach advantage. But when they finally faced off in the ring, Davis took control. He dropped Garcia in the second round, played with him for most of the fight, and then ended it with a devastating body shot in the 7th round. The fight wasn't even close. Yet, despite this clear victory, some still tried to downplay Davis's performance, making excuses about Garcia not being at his best or questioning his preparation.
Here's my take on the fight. Everything is true about this situation. One, Gervonta "Tank" Davis was being ducked leading up to this. Shakur Stevenson ducked him. Lomachenko ducked him openly. El Rayo didn't want to fight this year. He wanted to fight next year. Another thing is, I was hearing that Tank wanted it at 135 and rehydration, all kind of shit. So, but I don't know how true.
This is the issue Davis faces with fans and critics. No matter how many wins he racks up, there's always something. Either the opponent wasn't strong enough, the fight wasn't exciting enough, or someone else supposedly deserves a shot. It's never just about his performance in the ring. Take Isaac Cruz, for example. Despite his toughness, he hasn't done enough to deserve a rematch. He's had a few wins since facing Davis, but none were against top-level fighters. And even though Cruz has been vocal about wanting another shot, Davis doesn't feel any need to rush into it. If it happens, but he doesn't expect it to go any differently. The reality is that Davis is at the top of the division. He doesn't need to chase anyone. He's the biggest name, and the biggest fights will come to him. Whether it's Cruz, Garcia, or whoever else fans hype up, he'll handle them like he always does. Because at the end of the day, they're just another name on his list. Davis may be focused on preparing for Lamont Roach on March 1st, but fans are already looking ahead. For them, Roach isn't the fight they want. They're calling for something bigger, something worthy of Tank's talent. At the top of their list, a rematch with Ryan Garcia or a high-stakes showdown with Teofimo Lopez.
Davis just 20 years of age. He will turn 21.
Stop closing up and let it go. Keep turning, step around. Keep turning.
Ryan Garcia has been pushing for a rematch with Davis ever since their first fight ended in a humiliating defeat back in April 2023. Garcia came into that fight full of confidence, but Davis wasted no time, knocking him down in the 2nd round and finishing him off with a devastating liver shot in the 7th. It was a one-sided beatdown, and Garcia had no choice but to admit his defeat. However, over time, his story has changed. Garcia now insists he wasn't at his best during that fight, offering various excuses, including a supposed spy in his camp and a rehydration clause that he claims affected his strength. Since then, Garcia has tried to rebuild his momentum, scoring a knockout against Oscar Duarte in December 2023. He's even taken to social media, almost begging for another shot at Davis.
What? Who said that? You said
My
what?
man over
You
there
said
said
what?
bet.
Yeah, that's why I've been waiting for the niggas to talk. How much you want back? How much you want to bet? Because I came up here alone. How much y'all want back? How much you want back? Just call it out. Huh? 100? That's a bet. What's your name?
Davis, for his part, hasn't shown much interest.
Davis, on the other hand, hasn't shown much interest in facing Garcia again. He feels Garcia had his shot and failed. But if the price is right, and it often is when Garcia is involved, there's a chance a rematch could happen. However, there's another name that's gaining more attention: Teofimo Lopez. Unlike Garcia, Lopez is a proven champion with a solid track record. The former unified lightweight champion stunned the boxing world in 2020 when he defeated Vasily Lomachenko. After a brief setback against George Kambosos Jr., Lopez bounced back by moving up to 140 albs and defeated Josh Taylor for the WBO junior welterweight title.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's going to go. Tank going to be losing the first 3 rounds. Then he's going to download the data. Then he going to knock this dude out in round 7 or 8. Then he going to do the backflip. Then Jim Gray's going to get in the ring, or Caleb Plant's Hawaii, and say, who do you want next? And Tank's going to say, I want all those guys. And they're going to go to the press conference, and Elliot Setback's going to say, who do you want next? He say, I want all the guys.
Teofimo Lopez has made it clear that he wants to face Davis next. He believes that Tank has been taking on easier opponents and avoiding real competition. Many fans agree, seeing Lopez as the true challenge for Davis, someone who would really push him to prove his greatness. A matchup between them would be a battle of styles. Lopez's explosive power and sharp boxing versus Davis's precise, fight-ending ability. However, there's a catch. Davis is focused on staying at 135 albs for now, while Lopez has settled at 140 albs. With Davis already scheduled to face Roach, it's unclear when or if a fight between him and Lopez will happen.
I'm gonna beat his ass for y'all talking.
Not at all. Never. Nothing.
If Tank Davis is serious about securing his place in boxing history, these are the kinds of fights that will define his career. A rematch with Garcia would bring in big business, but it's a fight with Lopez that could truly silence the critics. Until Davis faces someone like Lopez, the questions will keep coming. When will Tank face the real threats? What do you think? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.